Hello everybody, I'm Dr. Chani Singh from Amritsar, and the weather here in Amritsar is improving day by day finally. I mean, if you're planning a visit to Amritsar, I think this is the best time of the year because it's neither too cold nor too hot, and you can really enjoy the heritage and culture of Punjab. And on the top of it, the local cuisine of Amritsar is amazing. I mean, you can enjoy a variety of food in a very reasonable price. I think this is the best thing about this city. So anyways, talking about my today's video, it's going to be about speaking module of Ielts. To be honest, students generally don't have a complete information about a particular module. So here in this video, I'm going to give you a step-by-step guide on speaking, where I'll be explaining you various steps that you need to consider for your final exam and mistakes that you need to avoid for the same day. So make a note of each and every point that I'm going to explain you, because this is going to be really beneficial for you for your final exam. So watch this video till end. Starting with my very first point, which says expressions are important. See, you cannot behave like a robot, and still expect a good bank score from the examiner. You need to speak with a positive face, with good expressions. For example, your eye-to-eye contact with the examiner is really important. This shows that you're a confident speaker. Secondly, your smiling face is a boon to your performance. What happens is, if you are having a smiling face, this obviously leaves an impression on the examiner that you are speaking with an interest, you're giving your point of view with full interest and confidence. And also your erect body posture. Erect body posture means you are sitting very professionally, and you're just not lying over one side or the other, because if you're doing that, this really gives a negative impression on the examiner. So always keep an erect body posture. This shows how professional you are and you have a respect for the examiner. Moving on to my second point, which says do not speak too much or too less. Now, what happens is, for your section 1 and section 3 especially, you are supposed to give a description about whatever you're speaking. You don't have to finish your answer in one sentence. And at the same time, you're not supposed to create a story and keep speaking for minutes. No. I'll give you an example and many things will be clear for you. For example, examiner has asked you a question, describe your hometown. Suppose you give an answer, I come from Gurdaspur. Now, if you are giving an answer in this way, then it's completely wrong. Instead, you are supposed to say, I hail from Gurdaspur, which is one of the districts in the state of Punjab. It is located at the foothills of Himalayas. That's it. I mean, you are giving an introduction to your hometown. And again, you're not speaking everything about your hometown in single question. And this is how you are going to give your answer. See, for example, what I have said about Gurdaspur is actually unique. This stands unique for my hometown, and every single candidate is not going to speak in the same way. They are going to give their own description for their hometown. So your answer should stand unique. At the same time, you are going to satisfy the examiner in 2 or 3 lines. That's it. Now, moving on to my third point, which says that yes, no, and like are the most common terms used in Ielts. Now, there are many questions you need to agree on, and at the same time, many questions you need to disagree on. So, yes and no are therefore more commonly used, and at the same time, you have to show liking towards different things. So, instead of like or yes or no, I'll give you better synonyms that you can use that is going to make your speaking better. For example, instead of yes, you can use other terms like certainly, absolutely, or I agree. In the same way, instead of no, you can say I do not support that, dash, whatever it is. Or, to be honest, I disagree. I'll give you an example. Suppose the examiner has asked you, do you think that the education system in your country is the best in the world? To be honest, I do not agree with this. Though the education system of my nation is really good and effective, but I personally feel that many amendments are required as per the need of the time, especially in rural India. That is it. This is all you have to say. This is the way you need to say. So I have used a better term rather than saying no, I do not feel like that. I mean, this is how I hope you understand that what is the difference between a good answer and a bad answer by now. Now, moving on to my fourth point, which says, what if you are confused about a question? Now, sometimes it takes few seconds for us to understand that question, or it takes few seconds to develop an idea for that question. So what to do then? I'll be giving you simple phrases which you can actually use for such type of question. For example, well, I'm not familiar with this topic, but I guess. Well, I'm not quite familiar with this topic, but I guess dash. Second way of saying is, I have never thought about it, but dash. Another way of saying is, that's very difficult to know exactly, but perhaps dash, whatever the matter is. See, what happens is, especially students who immediately come after their schooling, sometimes they don't have enough information about anything, about a particular topic, and I think it's completely normal. It's not your general knowledge test, it's just your English test. They're checking your language skills. For example, they have asked you a question on robot and you do not know what robot is. How to handle such situation? I'll give you an example. Suppose the question is, what do you think about a robot driving your car? How can you give answer of this question if you're not very much confident about it? You can say, well, I'm not quite familiar with this, but it will surely make my driving to work easier. That's it. Or you can say in a way, that's very difficult to know exactly, but perhaps it might make my driving to work easier. See, you can at least make a guess. For example, here they've asked you about a robot. You don't know what robot is exactly, but at least you can make a guess that robot is a kind of machine or something, So this is how you can smartly use your brain at this particular time and give the answer in a very natural way. Moving on to my next point, which says, don't memorize answers. Now, many students have a misunderstanding that more they'll learn, the more topics they'll learn, the better they'll perform in their exam. It's not like that. See, examiners are really experienced. They can easily judge that if you have crammed something out here, or you're just speaking your answers out of cramming, or is it the natural way of answering. And if you have crammed your answers, it will not only lower your band score, but at the same time there are chances that examiner might ask you difficult questions in the remaining part. So avoid doing this, please. I always emphasize on this point that do not cram any topic. It's not at all going to help for your final exam. Moving on to my next point, which says, ask the examiner in case you don't understand. Now, many students generally asking me that, ma'am, what if we do not understand a question here? I say it's completely normal, it's okay. You can request the examiner to repeat that particular question, and even if you don't understand the meaning of a word, again you can request the examiner to explain it for you. It even happens during our conversation in our native language. Sometimes we do not understand what somebody has just said, and we sometimes ask or request the speaker to repeat. So it is normal. I do not say that do this for every second question, but occasionally you can do it. Instead of sitting blank, you can rather request the examiner to repeat that question for you. So yes, my next point says that grammar and fluency both matters and both hold separate marks in the final exam. See, what happens is that especially in our North India, students sometimes focus more on grammar, and during this period they forget about improving their fluency. It's not that you are having a perfect grammar and examiner will give you perfect band score. You are going to be judged accordingly. So you need to focus on your grammar as well as fluency. Both carry separate bands, therefore both are important. Now, it's okay to take pauses. Many students misunderstand that fluency means speaking very fast. No, it's not about speaking very fast. It's about maintaining the rhythm. It's not about starting with full speed and then slowing down by the end. It's not like that. And of course, pauses are normal. I mean, when we are finished with a sentence and moving to the next sentence, obviously pauses are required. So it is okay to take pauses. It's okay to sometimes think for a couple of seconds or more, because it's natural. I don't ask you to completely stop and start thinking about the topic. It's not like that, but pauses are okay and natural. Then my last point, which says what to wear for your final exam. Now many students sometimes don't know this particular thing. See, prefer wearing a formal dress. It's your formal interview, so obviously you're supposed to wear a formal dress. You can wear a shirt with trousers, avoid wearing jeans. So formal dress is always preferred, and don't forget this thing. And always, especially for girls, tie your hair properly. You don't have to, I'll simply say that it's not a modeling competition, so just go properly for the exam, dress properly, be confident, and remember all these points, because these points are going to help for these points are going to be to prove helpful for your final exam. Good luck, and that's all about today's video. Don't forget to like this video and also subscribe my channel, and also don't forget to press the bell icon, because this is how you'll get notification for my upcoming videos. Thank you for watching. Good luck. Bye.